All right, it's time to take a quick look at the headlines in the Nigerian newspapers this morning. Of course, you can expect the fallout of yesterday's letter from OBJ, the man, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, to Mr. President Buhari. All right, of course, Dr. Dan Ekere of the University of Lagos is here with us in the studio. Good morning, and it's good to see you.
Good morning, thank you
for joining us. All right, so the Punch says, FG replies Obasanjo says, economy getting better, will remain best option. And that's according to the APC. Obasanjo right on nepotism in Buhari's government. Dr. Dan Ekere.
Yeah, I think Dr. Obasanjo now, because at this hour we're looking at his letter now. We'll go to maybe other issue we can call general and the rest. Now the man is showing what he has just got. Now, but interestingly, he did just make frivolous claims. And again, it is a form of counsel. It's an advice to Mr. President. And they try to highlight a few things. Now, on the issue of nepotism, I don't know if Lai Mohammed had anything to say on that. Because let's even take that, okay, the issues in the Northeast, the Boko Haram saga, yes, you decide to move the command, whatever there. What about the issue of NIA? You set up a committee to look at, you know, the possible options of a replacement, and they recommended. You created a committee, and the advice they gave, you threw it away and decided to bring somebody from your community. And I remember listening to Senator Misal saying that this man failed several exams.
Yes.
So what is the basis of his appointment? It's simply nepotism.
And of course, we've heard many times of some of the people he has appointed of being close relatives or even distant relatives.
In fact, this is corruption of a kind. So to say that the man is a saint as well.
Well, that's the question Obasanjo asked in his letter. Is this not corruption?
Yes, it's corruption.
Okay, what else do we have here that may not be corruption? Well, EFCC detains former SGF Abacha Lawal, and people are saying, how come this is happening all of a sudden?
Is it an afterthought? Is this an afterthought, or was it equally contained in Obasanjo's letter? Because I expected that at the point he was removed, and those issues were confirmed that the man used several millions to...
Two committees were set up, one headed by the Vice President, another by the Senate ad hoc committee, yet nothing was done.
Absolutely nothing. And only to bring issues of EFCC.
Would it be fair for us to say nothing was done?
What was done?
Maybe in all of this time.
Apart from the removal.
All of this time they were looking into it, and now that they have looked into it, and they have seen that, yes, indeed, he may have questions to answer, they called him to come answer the question.
Good, and it took so long to look into it.
After EFCC, then some officials were sent.
Must it take Nigerians' agitations before you do the right thing?
That's the question. Okay, so we go to the nation.
What else is here? Let me just quickly drop some other stories here. Man kills businessman after collecting 2 million naira for property. Suspected herdsman kills 6 torch houses in Plateau. INEC ends voter registration December, and reps seek ban on importation of fish. That particular one I'm excited about, but we'll have to leave it there.
Okay, so we go to the Nation newspaper. Of course, expectedly, still the response from the presidency to Obasanjo's letter. Buhari to Obasanjo, you are wrong on my scorecard. 2019 comment, a distraction. And then there are some list of the achievements so far recorded by this administration. I would just say that maybe some of the people in the corridors of power with the president are the ones causing some form of confusion, really, because you should somehow score this administration high. Some Nigerians would say, really. Is
it the people in the corridors of power that will score the government?
Or the people that serve themselves?
Is the people that is governing. We are the ones. And is the average Nigerian comfortable today? Is it better off? Forget about this issue of you've decimated Boko Haram. The people you chase in the Northeast, they are now everywhere. Before now, there was insecurity in the Northeast. Now there's insecurity in the entire country. So which one is safer? Which one is a higher achievement?
In Lai Mohammed's response, this whole Boko Haram thing, actually, was it part of his response, or I read it somewhere else, that Boko Haram actually started under OBJ.
Forget about
if he had done
predated the administration.
Even the agric project started under Jonathan. But are they not claiming credit for the addition they have made? So if government must take responsibility for everything during his tenure,
and the economy is improving really under the president, putting in mind that the country just slid out of recession.
Those are economic indices they keep telling. We are talking about real life.
Okay, bread and butter.
Yes.
Real life is different.
Yes. Ask the average Nigerian whether his life is better off. That is how you know whether the economy has actually improved, not what, theorists will tell you that we're out of recession, whereas some people, recession has just started.
True. Okay, 2 tankers burnt in Lagos fuel tank farm fire. That was
another
tragedy really yesterday, but somehow it was contained.
But I hope no life was lost. So that's what is most critical.
Okay, then Lassa fever keeps coming to the front page of some pages, really, but I know of the nation. Yesterday, there were stories of casualties. Again, today, Lassa fever kills 16 in 10 states. It is spreading.
Wow. I think this thing needs a very drastic approach. The way Ebola and the rest of them were addressed. I think that's the kind of attention that this Lassa fever thing need to be given.
But why the fire brigade approach every time? Nigeria somehow is never prepared to tackle endemic challenges.
That is part of governance. Because look at the general hospitals. A while ago, doctors were on strike. They just suspended. We don't even know whether they are still planning for another one. Because apart from the issue of emoluments, they are equally talking about the working environment. What are the facilities to work with?
Just like doctors in Ebonyi State protested.
Good. If we have well-equipped hospitals, why should all the prominent people be traveling out?
And don't forget, this latest outbreak, it started in was it Ebonyi?
I think Ebonyi
State. Two doctors died.
Health professionals.
And they had to protest that there is no functional virology center for them to carry on.
We really need to. As a matter of fact, I expected that after such, an experience in UK for several months, the president's medical.
The first thing he would want to tackle is the health
even if
sector.
he will not even fix all the what do you call it, medical facility, the one in Aso Rock.
But we know the outburst from the first lady.
At least let's even know that the politicians can use that one.
Okay.
Let them not take our money.
Okay, so there's this cherry news. CBN may cut interest rates before July.
Yeah, that would be good. But from what to what?
True.
That's another thing. Because you can yes.
To what?
One figure?
It could be 30%.
What the CBN governor has said is by the end of the first quarter of 2018, we should be somewhere around the higher single digits.
Fine.
8 or 9%.
That is the interesting thing. You should be talking about single digits.
That
you cut interest rate for me. I'm not thrilled by that.
You have to be explicit.
Yes.
The Daily Sun. EFCC arrests Babachir Lawal, ex-SGF. FG fires back at Obasanjo, says ex-president too busy to see good things being done. But then again, does he have to be in the country to know that good things are happening in the country?
Too busy where? What do you mean by too busy? The man gets reports almost the way the president gets reports.
Maybe because he listed some of his activities at the beginning of the letter, international engagements, maybe.
See, maybe what they're trying to say is, look, he's too busy being Ajala travel to know, what's happening.
And he equally gets the impact of this government. He feels even from the places he travel to. Don't forget that the government is equally assessed worldwide. So he should be in a better position to tell the president what I expected that the president should simply take that advice and look at the best use they can make of it.
Yeah, but don't you think the response from...
Instead of those responses from his subordinates, the Lai Mohammed, the Garba Shehus and the rest, for me, those are high service.
Okay. Well, Southeast is saying that the Southeast Senate caucus describes Nigeria as Buhari's country. Plot against Saraki thickens. Governors, ministers, senators meet to perfect impeachment plan. And Atiku Fayose meets over 2019. Will that be the third force that we've been hearing about? Or is there another to come? Nigeria in coma, declares Governor Wike of Rivers State.
Honestly, the Nigerian political scene is always a theater of the absurd. You find all manner of things happening. And now you are planning to impeach Saraki. Now, over what? That he has committed war crimes and other political prisoners or what? So I expect that by this time, having had the experiences of impeachments, of the AWRMs and the rest of it, and have got to this point that, at least from David Mark, there has been some level of stability in the Senate.
Well, it seems that Saraki is a cat with 9 lives.
Yes,
but he seems to be surviving all the storms.
And I'm very, would say he's a smart politician.
I want to believe he will survive this one at all, but it will put some level of dent on the APC too, because Saraki is a force. You just can't throw him away like that.
But then, putting in mind that he got to that exalted position
without their
blessing and with the support of the opposition.
Good. So that's in fact, that alone should send some signals that this is not a man you should just should attack or toil with. It's a man you should find a way to contain. A man you should find a way to bring it to the fold fully, so that he can flow with your own agenda, rather than begin to operate the negative from inside. It could be more dangerous when an insider becomes catecharos.
Indeed, especially at this period of time, looking at 2019. Okay, so we go to the Vanguard newspaper. Of course, Obasanjo's letter, a distraction, is the major story. That's according to the federal government. Says FG respects Obasanjo's views, no ulterior motive. Buhari government has not failed. Nigeria making steady progress. But then do you rate yourself? Okay, so we go to the top of the Vanguard, masthead. Obasanjo's letter, more reactions as 2019 campaign materials surface at FEC meeting. Now, the gist is, yesterday was that the communication minister flooded the meeting with campaign caps for the president.
What do you expect? They have to do their best to ensure that at least they still stay within the corridors of power. But you see, Obasanjo's letter, for me, is a way of equally saying that he has no support for Buhari. It's an indirect way of saying that, look, I will not support you based on this. Because his focus seems to be shifting to, a generational issue now, looking at the younger ones and the rest of it, the youth and all the other issues that he raised. And I think that is enough to say that, Oga, the time, you've done your best.
Well, he did say in that letter that he wrote GEJ, former President
Of course he did. We are aware.
And Goodluck Jonathan...
he took it for granted.
Yes.
And
he paid the price for
it. He paid dearly for it.
Okay. All right, so we look at this story. Gunmen wipe out family of 9 in Adamawa, kidnap 7 children. Another tragic story.
Yeah.
Obasanjo pointed at that.
The security agencies need to wake up. They need to wake up. And I think we really need to begin to look at the issue of state, police, because I'm of the feeling that the Nigeria police is overwhelmed. How many are there to start with?
300,000.
You have, in the Senate alone, you have over 300 senators. Yes. In reps, you have about 100 something members. Each of them has a security
detail.
Now, how many, what is the staff strength of the Nigeria police? That you now, that's just for the politicians.
For the
we are not looking at the states. Governors have. Then you go to banks. Who is there to police Nigeria? Yeah, so you need to look at the issues.
Yes, okay, so then court convicts 2 Nigerians for recruiting terrorists. Okay.
All right. This day, FG deflects. I want to look. We've been denying our viewers, Mr. and Mrs.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Oh.
So let's just make them first.
I was wondering why he was stretching.
FG talking about it.
This day is our final paper. FG deflects Obasanjo's criticism, lists President Buhari's achievements. Well, let's move away from that. NNPC says it earned $239 million from crude sales in November. The question is, how does that better the life of Nigerians? And President taps Edward Adamu, new CBN deputy governor. Okay, let's just leave that.
Yeah, I don't think go ahead and read it.
Is it family friendly?
Well, it's very sensitive.
It's very sensitive?
Yeah, it's sensitive.
Okay.
Security issue.
Let's just leave it there.
So with that, we wrap the newspaper review. At this point, we'll go on a short break, of course, and when we return, we'll be looking at other issues. We'll be starting with the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners and somehow the rift they had with the police that prevented them to move freely at their protest ground in Abuja. We're still holding you on, of course, Dr. Dan Ekere to talk to us about that. Stay with us on the show. Very interesting, really, but disheartening when you think about democracy and, of course, the freedom, to express yourself. Yes, you watched that, and, of course, I'm sure you followed that development when it happened.
I did. And like she mentioned, it appears that we are back in the trenches. You know, the era of impunity has returned. Assuming we have taken for granted that we've, you know, overcome impunity. Because I asked myself when I watched this scene, what are you preventing, really? Armed women or what? Armed men? What is the risk that this movement poses to the government? Because these are people who have no arms of any kind, who are simply sending a message that ordinarily the government should be the one, even, you know, piloting. And they are reminding you of your responsibility. I expected that all you should have done is to simply allow them do their peaceful protest. And then, if you have anything to tell them how far you have gone with your own, you know, maybe plans or strategies with respect to the release of the remaining girls. And rather than do that, you now send, you know, a fortified team of policemen who have not addressed the security challenges of the country, who have not even gone to places where there are real security breaches and, you know, threats. And they are now, look at the number of people they arrange in that place to take care of these women and maybe a few men who are.
But really, the question one would like to ask is, who sent these officers? Is it a case of overzealousness on their part?
Overzealousness cannot be the issue.
Is it possible that the order could have come from above
there is
to stop this BBOG members by any means possible?
In the police, order always comes from above. It is always from a superior officer.
How high above?
Well, how high is what I don't know, but at the end of the day, somebody should take responsibility. Because, I mean, are you saying they didn't watch it? Who has come out to say anything about it? That,
or even apologize that this was never the intention?
So we can easily say that, yes, this came from the IG. And if it is from the IG, obviously that's part of the government.
And not necessarily from the president.
It doesn't need to be from the president. It doesn't need to be from the president.
That's why Festus Kayamo is saying, senior advocate of Nigeria, of course,
it doesn't need to be from the president.
Look, the IG needs to lose his job because this really is embarrassing to the government, especially at a time like this when, you know, look, the president does not need any more
at all
of such, you know, perception, public perception that impunity just
because that's what we are. Yeah, that's
government.
exactly what we can read from this. That if nothing is done to address this challenge or to at least say something about it, to tell us that this was a miscarriage of operation, then we have no choice than to assume that the government has a hand in it.
Silence means consent?
Of course.
Okay, yeah, this seems to be like a duplication of what happened under Goodluck Jonathan then with this same group when they were calling for the release or the rescue of the Chibok girls, really. And then you think about the freedom of expression, freedom of association as citizens in a democratic setting. And if that is in any way jeopardized, what do you see this portending for a country?
A lot of danger, because the only thing the common man gets from democracy, this so-called democracy that everybody carries as if it is one very, you know, serious system that goes with development. The only thing the common man gets is just that, you know, freedom to express himself and all of that. Because at the end of the day, it is still a few who dictate. It is still a few. In fact, democracy itself is a form of, you know, dictatorship, in case you don't know. Because where a group of persons who call themselves majority dictate and impose things over minority is dictatorship of a kind. All right? Now, the little freedom that the people should enjoy, you are taking it from them.
And unfortunately, this particular BBOG, at least the leadership of the BBOG, you couldn't address them as common man.
Certainly not. I mean, a person of the caliber, the status of Obi Ezekwesili, and even the rest of them.
Absolutely.
Even the ones that are not known, they have not paraded themselves, they have not presented any picture of, you know, what you can call rascals. So, and interestingly, the government equally, you know, leaned on the performance of BBOG when they were to come on board.
Absolutely.
Yes. So they have used it as a ladder.
So what has changed?
And they now want to do it.
Exactly. What has changed really? Would you say it's because of maybe the newfound motivation of one of the leaders, Obi Ezekwesili, now issuing a red card to the major political parties in the country?
It's part of it. It could be part of it. Because originally it looked like, you know, Obi Ezekwesili and her group were members of the APC, or were even like, you know, the foreigners trying to prepare ground for APC. So they use all those, you know, preparations, platforms, and the rest of them. Now that they are there, and it seems as if the woman does not seem to be doing the same to project them. And now the same thing that happened to the last government is happening to them.
Of course, under the last administration, they were accused of politicizing the whole, Chibok girls
that is exactly what it is.
issue, and that
obviously, Kwesili and our group are like, hunger hanging on the road. It flogs any set of person, whether you are old or young. And that's what is happening. That's what a society like ours needs.
Now, what do you make of police saying, look, we did not arrest her, we only invited her, the CP in the FCT addressed them, and after that, they left.
Why did you address them?
Such thing
they should have been addressed there.
The group being arrested. And then again, in addition to that, of course, they claim that, the BBOG members conducted themselves violently.
Wow. Except there's another scene. Video. Because if it is this one that we watched, then the police is lying. You see, if all you needed to do was to have a word with them, the most reasonable way to address it would have been to even address them there. Let the whole world see how, polite you are, how civil you are, how well you conduct your affairs. Let's see that at least you've raised your standard a little to the point that you are no longer, that police force, but just a police.
But is this still about bring back our girls, or is it bring back our nation, bring back Nigeria from the brink?
Yes, but I think the first that they are out for, which they have always, remained resolute about, is the issue of those Chibok girls. It has gone beyond the Chibok girls. You could see that they're even talking about
the women.
Good. And even police. Yes, and even the police. Some, members of the police force that perhaps either were killed or maybe whatever happened to them, they are equally making a case for them all. So you could see that. Yes, initially the BBOG was perceived to be a political machinery of, the APC, but at least for their persistence have suggested or have shown that these people mean well for Nigeria. They are actually about a responsibility, not about a political party, not about, a form of government or whatever. They just want what ought to be done to be done. Yes, that is what they're asking for. I don't think they're asking for too much.
Will the police apologize for this, or should they even apologize?
Well, members are demanding for that. Anyways,
they're demanding.
We have the spokesman of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, Sesu Akume, joining us via phone now to talk to us about their experience in Abuja with the police. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so how do you respond, first off, to the allegation leveled against the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners by the police that the members were unruly at the protest ground, and that was why they had to behave the way they did?
First and foremost, we released a statement yesterday. It's available online. You can, so we responded to all the issues. But since you asked here, I'll let you know that everything they said there is false. It's completely false. We've been on our advocacy for close to 4 years. Nobody can say we've once been unruly or we've been irresponsible, much less violent. All those are false. There are also videos in the public domain. Everybody saw what was going on. We were recording everything and uploading live as they were happening. So everybody saw what was going on. So if we're unruly, it's there for the public to assess and to judge. Everything they said is false. They're the ones, the police were the ones breaking the law. Our constitution guarantees us freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of thought and conscience. And so we're exercising them. Apart from that, we also have a subsisting court order, judgment against the Nigeria police, our movement against the Nigerian police, the Nigeria police, a federal high court on 14th of October 2014 ruled that the police cannot stop us from exercising our rights, our freedoms. And so the police was violating our constitution and violating a subsisting court judgment, and they didn't care. And it's not as if we didn't tell them. So they were the ones doing the wrong thing, and they know what they did was wrong. And they also lied that we weren't hurled into their vans and paraded around Abuja and driven in a very rough manner and humiliated. Some of our members were manhandled, dragged on the ground. They deny all of those. They said they only invited us. All of that is false. The pictures and the videos are out there for everybody to see how it all happens. So everything they said is false. And it is not true that we are not a civil movement. We have always been civil and conducted ourselves.
And of course, you plan to go to court because of this. But quickly tell us, what did the FCT Commissioner of Police, Sadiq Abubakar Bello, tell you when he addressed the BBOG members?
Once again, there's a live, we did a live recording of what he was saying. It's available on our Twitter handle at BBOG_Nigeria. The video is there for everybody to watch what he said. What he said was, when we went to the police station, we weren't charged. So nobody was in charge. Okay, why were we brought here? Who's in charge here? Nobody was addressing us. And so our leader executively said, okay, fine. But since nobody's responsible here, nobody's saying why we're here, nobody's charging us in, let's leave. And then there was an order to lock the gate that we weren't going anywhere. So that was when it was established that we were held hostage there. And nobody said anything, nobody charged us in. And then eventually the Commissioner of Police, Sadiq Abubakar Bello, came and said he was the Commissioner of Police, and he said we could go. He said, no, it doesn't happen that way. Who does that? You arrested us for purported wrongdoing. What wrongdoing did we do? Can we document it? Charge us in or charge us out? Don't you have a procedure? He said, no. He is the Commissioner of Police. He is the final authority, and so he is using his own discretion to allow us to go. That was really absurd, but that's what he said.
Okay,
so on that basis we left.
Thank you very much. Sesu Akume, member of the Bring Back Our Girls group, there joining us via phone. Dr. Daniel Kerry, you've heard from him. First of all, the police claims that the BBOG did not get any permit before, staging that march to the Aso Rock Villa or Presidential Villa.
Do they need a permit?
That's a point.
Do they need a permit to?
Yeah, because an Abuja appeal court had actually reiterated
this
that
has
a
been
police permit is not in capital.
You don't need a permit.
Yeah.
If anything, you're communicating or writing to the police is simply to give you protection, not to seek permission from the police. It's not the police that will tell you you can go ahead to protest over your, something you feel, strongly about, that something is wrong somewhere, over a right that is violated or whatever. You don't need the police to protest. What you need the police for is to give you protection while doing that protest. Interestingly, this is a peaceful procession. They got to a point, all they needed was somebody a responsible officer.
To speak to them.
Talk to them. Somebody of a class that can be, taken seriously. Yeah. Address them that, okay, the government is doing this, the government is doing that. That is what they needed. That reassurance was what this group actually needed. And again, to ginger the government, to tell the government that this thing is still lying fallow.
Maybe we don't have a government that understands or appreciates the need for photo ops. At least let the optics look good, for the people.
But like we just said earlier, it could be an overzealousness on the part of the security.
Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived.
All right, Dr. Daniel Kerry, we'll have to say thank you very much. We will not be deceived, neither will Nigerians be. But of course, anything that will make this government look bad, we want to discourage.
Yes.
Stay with us. There's more to come on TVC Breakfast.